On this episode of Delivering Marketing Joy, we talk with Tim Brown from QCA about what you can do to be prepared for safety. Hey there, and welcome to another edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. I'm your host, Kirby Hasseman, and joining me today is a brand new guest. I'm really excited to have him. Tim Brown, he's in a new role. He's Executive Director of QCA in the promotional products industry. Tim, thanks so much for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Kirby. I'm excited that you asked me. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Cool. So let's jump right into it. I mean, you have a new role in our industry, so first of all, congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what's the overall vision? What's your overall vision for that position in the future?
As far as the vision, to start, I'm excited with the position. It's something that I've supported for a long time. Before, with my history, I was at PPAI. Before that, I worked for a large distributor. And when I was with that large distributor, we tried to drive a lot of our volume towards QCA suppliers. And so I've always had a bit of a high there. And so getting an opportunity now to come in after I watched it start, grow, and now come in to kind of run things, obviously in conjunction with the board, but in this role, it's just exciting. And so I would say from a vision standpoint, it's actually a pretty easy question, and I'm going to hope I won't drag on too long about it, but I'm going to put a little bit of the background. One of the things is why I supported it. It was a great product. It is a great product. I always believed in it. The problem or the concern is that marketing in the past and the vision for it, we've spent a lot of time really trying to get the industry to understand it, to grasp it, to get it, to see the value in it. And to do that has been more of an uphill battle, I would say. And I think that's what's kind of stifled QCA over the years. Even people who, before I was here, told me, hey, I love it. I know why you're behind it. I know what you're doing. But until I see the need in the end buyer market for it, or that they're even aware of it, I'm not going to put my dollars behind it. So when I came in, my vision is to make QCA mean something in the end buyer market. That's the short. What do I mean by that? I've already been to some end buyer events this year, and I have several scheduled throughout the year. When I say end buyer events, American Marketing Association annual conference. I was at ICPSO the other week, which is a product safety and compliance conference. I'm going to purchasing, like Institute for Supply Management and other things like that. One of their conferences where buyers, marketers, compliance experts are all in mass. Mm-hmm. I'm exhibiting. I have a booth. We exhibit, and these are little trade show halls. And it's an opportunity to, and in some cases even, I'm working with one right now, and possibly another where I'll end up being a speaker as well. Mm. It's an opportunity to share the message, create awareness. That is my vision. Create the awareness, because once they know, they're going to care. Right. And that's the feedback that I've received so far when I've been on the road, that people are thrilled and the message is going over really well. So my vision's being validated. Let's put it that way.
That's cool. Congrats. That's good.
Yeah.
So someone who is an individual, we're in the industry, we're watching this interview. How can an individual make a difference? Is it just about education, or what advice would you give?
Education is key. Without the education piece, you're going to struggle with this, and it's not going to resonate. I think don't be afraid. Dive into the education, take it, and it all takes time. And I'll elaborate on that more in a minute. But in addition to education, it's actually putting it into action. It's one thing to educate yourself, but you have to do something with that education. And so, if you look at PPAI, I'm going to sing their praise. If I'm going to be a commercial for anybody today, it's going to be my former employer, because the amount of education and materials and resources they have around this subject is incredible. Everything from best practices to webinars, you name it. And I spent the last 2 years of my career traveling all over the country teaching people about the Product Safety Aware program. And it's 4 hours of people can do it. We were doing it live, but you can also do it now, and then via webinar. And it just gets you the basics. It gets you enough that, and even then, some of it's a little difficult for a first-time listener. But, you spend some time in that. There's articles out there. PPAI now has a little newsletter called Trusted. You can subscribe to that, and they give you little updates and little tidbits and links to articles. It's really about just taking some time and learning about this. I'll be the first to admit, when I first got into it, when I was working for the distributor, I came from the healthcare industry.
Okay.
Rules, regulations. I worked in procurement there, materials management. I came into promo and went, wow, this is great. I don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. It's going to be smooth sailing. And I came in 2007. My third day on the job, I always tell people I was on the expo floor. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the industry.
Right.
I was in charge of vendor relations. And by June, our director of corporate compliance, which was mostly social responsibility at the time, but was coming to me and asking me about this thing that might be passed into law called CPSIA. Mm-hmm. Then he's asking me about Prop 65 and what are your vendors doing with all this? I had no idea what he was talking about. It was a foreign language. And as I called my suppliers, they were the same way. No one knew what was going on. And I was kicking, screaming. I was not wanting to deal with this at all. But I had no choice. So I figured it out. The more I figured it out, the more I figured, wow, this could be a great differentiator for us. And so we started using it that way. Well, then I evolved to really, truly embracing it, and which started from the differentiation standpoint. But then just what it can do for our industry. I fell in love with the industry, and then I didn't want to see anybody, so I was volunteering at the regional level, at the national level for PPAI, regional level at our local in TISPA here, and doing whatever I could to try to help people understand it. So education is key, and the tools to start with, I just tell people, go to PPAI, start off slow, take the stuff, and they just have more information than you'll ever know what to do with.
I like it. That's really good advice. So my final question for you today, it's funny, I knew I was talking to you as a quality person, a compliance person, someone who might be process driven. And I thought, what inspires you to have fun at work? I thought that might be a different question for you. So what do you do for fun at work?
One, I work from home. So that's I cannot complain. That's really a plus, so that brings some joy. My subject, let's be honest, it's not sexy. It's not exciting. And it's vitally important. Yeah. It's vitally important. But it's not something that creates a lot of fun. You have to find ways to make fun in this. And the way I have fun with it, the subject itself and the job itself. I have fun in the job because it's new, it's exciting, it's challenging. I think a lot of people looking at how this thing has grown and where it is and where it could go, where it hasn't gone yet. Mm-hmm. I'm like, hey, Tim, are you sure you think you can do this? Right. And I wouldn't have accepted the position if I didn't think I could. But that challenge of taking this organization to the next level, and with our new approach and everything else, is creating a lot of fun for me personally. Yeah. But it's fun when I'm out there now talking to end buyers and sharing our message with them. And they get it, and they have that aha moment. Oh my gosh, never knew something like this existed. I never thought about where my promotional products come from. You're giving me something to think about. Yes, I want to protect my brand. So that's fun. But it's going back to my original comment. When we get it to fun, the government gives me plenty to have fun with. It used to be I just got aggravated with it. When I go and I present, when I do presentations, I have so much content and so much fodder, and I have a dry, sarcastic sense of humor. And so the government, especially the state of California, gives me plenty. As long as they keep writing laws the way they are, I'm going to have lots of fun doing presentations, and I will never tire of cracking jokes and making them the butt of my jokes.
That's great. I like that because it's funny. The more you read, the more you understand. I love what you said about this being a challenge, because the more you understand that, the more that people who have a purpose and have a drive are the ones that seem to have the most enjoyment out of their life. It doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean it's laughs all the time, but that it is, that you have something that you're driving towards, and it sounds like you certainly have that. And so that's really, really cool. Well, hey, you have answered my 3 questions. I give everybody the chance to ask me one question. Do you have one for me?
I do. And so I think a lot of your audience probably knows this, that you're a brewer, that you, I'm not sure how many know that you're opening your own brewery and taking that to the next level. A lot of people, at least on my network list, know I'm a beer geek, and not a lot of them know that I brew.
Awesome.
So beer guy to beer guy.
Okay.
And I would say let's go beer connoisseur to beer connoisseur.
Right.
With the industry we're in, what have you learned with your new endeavor, or what have you learned in this industry, as well as through your program here with Delivering Marketing Joy? What have you learned and been able to apply to deliver marketing joy in the marketing of your new brewery that's about to open?
Oh, man. That's a great question, and kind of multi-layered, right? So beer connoisseur to beer connoisseur, if you go to microbrews, if you go to places like this where there are tastings and where there's an atmosphere, and certainly those are popping up all over the country really fast, you'll know that swag is a huge part of it, right? Like obviously one of the things that, the things that we do really resonate in that industry because people want to have a tangible memory from, even if they don't have a really great memory of it themselves. But if they have, whether it's a T-shirt, whether it's a growler, whether it's a keychain, something where they can take something with them and kind of remember the great time they had. Certainly, we're going to have some fun with that. The big piece is, and I've been preaching this for years, Tim, is that I think that we're living in a give-first economy. And so what I mean by that is that the businesses and salespeople and entrepreneurs who provide value first will win. And tell a story and kind of engage people. And I'm finding that to be wildly true. The buzz that, pardon the pun, that I'm creating around Hasseman Brewing through blogs, through videos about, there's like background videos of me brewing. The same principles that I use here are resonating almost even more on the brewing side because people are fascinated by the process. You know that. And so, again, it's about providing them value and having fun and then providing behind the scenes. Everybody likes that behind the scenes thing, and that has been resonating so far. Now, we'll see once I get my license and can actually sell beer, then we'll see if it's working, but the audience has grown really quickly for it. So I think at this point the overall philosophy has proven to be true. So does that answer your question?
That is a great answer.
All right.
Great answer.
Well, cool. Well, Tim, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it, and we'll have to do it again, okay?
Fantastic. I hope we can, and I'm looking forward to stopping by Hasseman Brewing.
That sounds good. Well, that wraps up this edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. We'll see you next time.